Okay, so when you hear the name Leonardo da Vinci, your mind probably jumps straight to artist, right? The Mona Lisa, the Last Supper. But the real secret to his genius, it wasn't just in his paintbrush. It was in his scalpel, his engineering blueprints, and his just obsessive curiosity about absolutely everything. So let's dive in and see how Leonardo the scientist was actually the secret force behind Leonardo the artist. I mean, just look at the Mona Lisa's smile. It's probably the most famous expression in all of history. But here's the thing. It might never have existed if Leonardo hadn't spent his nights dissecting human corpses. Seriously, he peeled back the layers of the human face, tracing every single muscle and nerve just to figure out the mechanics of how a smile even works. His art was literally built on a foundation of pure science. And that really brings us to the core question of this whole explainer. How did science end up creating the world's most famous painting? The answer reveals a mind that was totally radical for its time, a mind that saw zero separation between different fields of knowledge. To really get Leonardo, you have to understand how he saw himself. For him, art and science weren't two separate things, not at all. They were just two different ways of asking the exact same question. How does the world actually work? You want to know something incredible? When Leonardo was basically applying for a job with the ruler of Milan, he wrote this letter listing all his skills. He goes on and on about how he's this amazing military engineer. He can design bridges, cannons, you name it. And then, way down at the end, he just tacks on, almost as an afterthought, oh yeah, and I can also paint. I mean, that tells you everything you need to know. He thought of himself as a man of science and engineering first and foremost. So where did this completely unique way of thinking come from? Well, it turns out his biggest advantage might have been something he didn't have, a formal classical education. Biographer Walter Isaacson just puts it perfectly. He said, Leonardo had the good luck to be born illegitimate. And what that meant was he wasn't forced to follow his father into the very respectable but very rigid family business of being a notary. He was free. He was totally free from a set path, free to chase his own curiosity wherever it decided to go. His early life really set the stage for all of this. Born in 1452, he moves to Florence when he's 12, which was the absolute epicenter of the Renaissance, the heart of it all. By 14, he's an apprentice to the great Andrea del Verrocchio, whose workshop wasn't just a place for painting. It was a hub for engineering, chemistry, the whole shebang. It's there he learned that art wasn't just about making pretty things, it was about understanding the world. And this idea became his life's philosophy. When other scholars kind of looked down on him for not having a classical education, he leaned into it. He rejected dusty old books and secondhand knowledge in favor of direct observation and his own experience. He was going to trust his own eyes above everything else. And this philosophy is what fueled all of his scientific work. Leonardo's notebooks, they're filled with thousands of pages of his observations on everything from the tongue of a woodpecker to the swirling currents of a river. The man was just relentlessly, obsessively curious. And believe me, he went to some pretty extreme lengths to get that knowledge. He dissected around 30 human corpses, often in secret, by candlelight. You have to remember, this was messy, it was dangerous, but for him, it was absolutely essential. And all that gruesome work led to discoveries that were centuries ahead of their time. He was the first person to accurately draw things like the frontal sinus. And even more amazing, he figured out the heart was a four-chambered muscle, not just a simple furnace, which is what everyone else believed. He even worked out how swirling blood flow helps the valves to close. This was anatomy as engineering, something no one had ever even dreamed of. You know, his fascination with the way blood flows, it extended to the way water flows. He saw rivers as the veins of the earth, a force that could both create and destroy. This led to these beautiful but terrifying drawings he called the deluges, and even to this massive, totally audacious plan to divert the entire Arno River as a weapon against a rival city. And his scientific mind wasn't just for theories. While he was working for the ruthless warlord Cesare Borgia, he made this map of the city of Imola. Now before this, maps were kind of more like artistic sketches, but Leonardo, he applied geometry, he used a magnetic compass, and he created the world's first modern, scientifically accurate city plan. It was basically a tool for war, born from a scientific mind. So, okay, we've got the anatomy, the water studies, the cartography. how did all this science actually make his art better? Well, for Leonardo, nothing ever went to waste. Every single observation he made was woven into this grand, unified vision of how the world works. Just look at the Vitruvian Man. It's so much more than just a famous drawing. It's his entire philosophy in a single image. It's his argument that the human body, with its perfect mathematical proportions, is a small-scale model of the entire universe, a kind of divine blueprint for both art and architecture. And you can see this mathematical precision at work in The Last Supper. To get that perfect, incredibly dramatic perspective, he literally hammered a nail into the wall right at Christ's forehead. And from that one single point, he scratched lines into the plaster to guide him, making sure every single angle in that room would draw your eye right to the central figure. It's a masterpiece of emotion, achieved through cold, hard geometry. And wow, his ambition just flew way beyond the canvas. He designed a flying machine based on his obsessive studies of bird wings. He sketched out a forerunner to the modern helicopter. He even designed a colossal 23-foot-tall bronze horse that, tragically, was never actually cast. Its clay model was used for target practice by invading soldiers. His mind was just constantly designing, constantly inventing. And all of this brings us right back to that smile. The Mona Lisa wasn't just another painting. It was the final exam. It was the ultimate synthesis of a lifetime spent studying art, anatomy, optics, and human psychology. You can actually see the evolution right here. On the left, you have one of his early portraits, Ginevra da Vinci. It's beautiful, no doubt, but it's a little stiff, defined by sharp lines. And then on the right, the Mona Lisa. The jump in skill and sophistication is just staggering. This is the work of a master who has pulled all of his knowledge together. So, how'd he do it? What are the secrets? Well, first there's sfumato, his technique of blending colors so softly that there are no hard outlines. Second, his deep scientific understanding of light, knowing exactly how it falls on curved surfaces. And the smile itself? Well, that's a trick of optics. He knew that our peripheral vision is better at picking up shadows, so the smile actually seems more noticeable when you're not looking directly at it. It's pure science creating magic. And this, really, was Leonardo's ultimate goal. For him, painting wasn't just about capturing how someone looked. It was about revealing the intentions of their minds. By understanding the anatomy of a smile and the physics of light, he could do more than just paint a face. He could open that window to the soul for all of us to peer into. So that leaves us with one last thought. We live in an age of hyper-specialization, right? We're all encouraged to pick one lane and just stay in it. So what can we learn from a mind like Leonardo's? A mind that saw art and science and art and absolutely no boundaries between them. Well, maybe it's that true genius isn't about knowing one thing really, really well, but about seeing the connections between everything.